Hello, guys. This is Dr. Palaniappan Manickam. As usual, we have a wonderful guest in our guest interview session, and we have Sujatha. She is a registered dietitian. She had done masters in clinical nutrition, and she is a private practitioner here in Chennai. And we have been talking about like low carb options with her, and I want her to explain about the low carb diet options for our audience so that they can incorporate in their eating window whenever they come to that level. So please welcome. Hi,
Hello.
Sujatha.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Oh, good, good, perfect. So, I think if you are a registered dietitian, you'll be like so bright and energetic like you are like illuminating with light.
I think that's more to do with the tube light right behind me. It's night here, so I'm trying to get as much as light as possible.
Nice, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Sujata, so if you follow my channel, I've been like promoting time restricted feeding. So, because the reason is we have been finding beautiful clinical results, and let me tell you how it started. So, we have patients with fatty liver, and we have elevated liver enzymes. People come to me, and I say that hey, weight loss is the only way to cure this. There is no medication that I can give you, and they say that hey, I've tried multiple weight loss options. What is the thing that you recommend? I say no, I was obese in the past, and this is the only thing that worked out for me, but that doesn't mean it will work out for you, but you can try it out. So
Right.
then we started with a 12-hour eating window. We decreased to 11, 10, 9, 8. Every week that patient comes to me, and when we are on that 8-hour eating window or 10-hour eating window, the weight just drops very fast because they go into this ketosis phase. And then the scar tissue in the liver gets reversed because liver is the only organ that ஒரு மாதிரி வந்து அன்னியன் படம் மாதிரி வந்து திருப்பியும் வந்துடும். Rebirth, Aro. It will rebirth. So I was absolutely happy with it. So I said, okay, no, with this method, why can't we just translate that to general public as well for general obesity related complications? So in that method, the problem is sometimes people's genetics, people's metabolics rate, and people composition might be a little bit different. That even with this 8-hour eating window or 10-hour eating window very strictly for 2 to 3 months, they hit a plateau.
Right.
And when they hit a plateau, then we say that hey, try to focus on your diet a little bit more. I do the exact opposite. People focus on the diet first and then the timing. But I do the exact opposite because I want them to be motivated first, and we cannot put everything together. But this session is for people who are hitting a plateau. And when they're hitting a plateau, when we are focusing on the diet, there are multiple things like calories, protein, fats, and carbs. What research says that, at least in time restricted feeding literature, is that
Mhm.
if you focus on carbohydrates, and we're not talking about keto is like less than 30 grams of carb, less than 50 grams of carb. We're not
Right.
talking about that. We're just
Right.
talking about low carb diet, which can be
Mhm.
sustainable. We're talking about like 150 grams of carb, even 200 grams of carb.
Right.
So the first question to you is, in your practice, you see patients from India all the time, right? So Indian patients all the time, and you know
Mhm.
how our carb-rich breakfast, lunch, and dinner is.
Right. Right.
Can you tell me the average carbohydrates grams per day that you see in your patient population?
So basically, like you mentioned, we belong in a culture where carb is like super emphasized. It's not like we don't have other food sources in our eating pattern or in our cuisine, but it's just that we've developed this habit of normalizing a plate which is loaded with rice or which is loaded with the grain part of it, and the rest of it we just add it to our plate just for the sake of maybe cooking it or
Correct.
just for the sake of going with the rice, but
Mm.
that's not emphasized enough, and that is a serious problem like you're saying. So the issue here with low carb diet, it does sound like we're going to be restricting something, but the idea of a low carb diet is not restriction, it's just balancing your nutrients. Like we are having an eating pattern which easily maybe goes up to 400 or close to 450 grams of carbs per day,
400.
typically without lifestyle modifications, because that's how I grew up seeing my parents or my even my grandparents eating, because that's how it's become normalized. But then here it's more about adding in other nutrients that can actually give you much better results in terms of your weight loss, or even in terms of controlling the how the food responds in your body and increases the blood glucose level. Now here again it depends on increasing other components on your plate, and when you increase that, automatically you will be comfortably able to reduce the carbohydrate to a certain extent that it's sustainable, it's still comfortable, you're not restricting yourself from eating that particular food, but it's just that you're having it in an optimal ratio, and that's what is important.
So you were saying that you mentioned the number 400, right?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because when I was obese, right, when I was 100 kilos,
Yeah.
நான் வந்து 100 கிலோ இருந்தேன். ஸ்விம்மிங் பூல்லுக்குள்ள குதிச்சா உள்ளுக்குள்ள தண்ணி எல்லாம் வெளியே வந்துடும். அந்த அளவுக்கு கொண்டாந்துருக்காங்க. So at that time, I still remember, right? So when somebody said that, hey, diet is the main thing, workout is nothing, I didn't believe them. I kept on working out, which I think it was a workout, but it was not a workout. And when actually, I still remember this person, his name is Daniel. He was my patient. He was a fitness coach. He said, hey, Doc, if you want to change something, you really have to look into what you're eating. Don't change anything. Just document what you're eating per day. And then please tell me what is the number of carbohydrates in a week. Right? So I was initially very hesitant, but I just jot down on MyFitnessPal, which is a free app everybody can download. So just because it is ending up in Pal, nothing to do.
I expected that coming. I saw that coming.
Nothing to do with me. If I was inventor of MyFitnessPal, I would have retired from my job by this time. So MyFitnessPal, and then believe it or not, Sujatha, my carbohydrate content was 550 grams per day. 550. And I didn't restrict anything, right? So I restricted, I didn't do anything. That was my normal content. So I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure that even if it is not 550, it'll be at least like 300, 350. Okay. So what I tell my patients is, hey, you know what? When I say low carb keto diet, people are like, you are asking me not to eat rice. You are not asking me not to eat roti. You are not a Tamilian. You are going against the literature.
Anti-national.
You went to America and you forgot about Tamil Nadu. So, I mean, that's not true. That's not true. I think the main reason Sujatha is here is to tell us that, hey, it is okay to have dosa. It is okay to have rice. It is okay to have pongal. It is okay to have idli. It is okay to have parota. It is okay to, it's okay to have everything. But you need to understand that there is a limit to it, right? Moderation. Okay. So the question to you is, so I have figured out that we can, one size doesn't fit all, right? One size doesn't fit all. Everybody is different. But based on the patient that I have seen so far and so many of the gastro problems that I have seen, I have come up with this number of 200 grams of carbs per day. Okay. So that is only my experience. It is my experience, my patients. But I'm pretty sure that if that can translate that to all people, at least as a baseline, we'll be okay. All right. So let's say that one of our subscribers see this interview and then jot down everything what they are eating, and they are having 300 grams of carbs per day. Okay. And in this method, we are saying that, okay, don't focus on calories that much initially. We need to decrease from 300 grams to 200 grams. Okay. So then they're saying that, hey, that 300 grams was there because I ate like 3 dosas, 4 idlis, and that's what if I have to cut down to 2 dosas and 2 idlis, what should I replace that with, right? So that's the key thing. So why don't you tell us some options about, so let's say I'm your patient, I'm coming to you, I'm saying that, hey, Dr. Pal told me to decrease my carb to 200 grams per day. I put down my MyFitnessPal, it is 300 grams per day. I eat 4 dosas in the morning. Okay. So I'm okay to go down to 3 dosas. Okay. But I'm hungry. What should it take to replace that 4 dosa?
Right. So there, the point that we have to note is hunger. So something that would satisfy our hunger and something that would help us sustain that fullness over a period of time is what is going to make it easy and convenient for us to adapt to a particular change. So there, 3 nutrients play a major role. One is protein, the other is fat, the other is fiber. As simple as that.
Right.
And so proteins, you get it from a lot of different sources. For people who eat animal protein, it's like really easy. For people who eat plant protein, again, it's not difficult, provided they know what the different sources are. So you can get enough protein through dairy or even soy products, which are really good quality sources of protein. You also have pulses and legumes. You can use sprouts. So all these are good sources of protein. The catch there slightly is they also come with a bit of carbs, but they also contain a good amount of protein. Again, fats, a lot of foods, when we use it as a whole component, it also comes with its share of fats. For example, if we take eggs, it naturally contains fat. Otherwise, even when we are taking vegetables or any kind of a preparation, if we can add in a teaspoon of oil for tempering and stuff, that again adds in fat. So these are components that could actually help us feel full over a longer period of time.
So,
Apart from this, we also,
so you're saying that protein will keep you full. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. Yeah.
Right. And then
Protein,
what did you say about the fat? Fat is fat and fiber.
Yeah.
Okay. So protein, fiber, and fat.
Yeah.
Order of priority would be what? Fiber, protein, fat?
So basically, one thing that we tend to not get enough of is protein, because most often we don't pay attention to having protein on our plate. So I think first attention can go there, because that is something that we have to consciously, ensure that we do. So at least each meal, ensure there's a source of protein. Yeah. And fat requirements, of course, is moderate. So you wouldn't require too much amounts of fat, and even small amounts of fat does contribute to a lot of calories. So there we have to be careful. Just because, we said that fat is good doesn't mean we overdo on fats. But again, fat is something that even if you take in very small quantities, it will satiate you. Like you can have a complete meal, the same level of fullness you can get even by eating just 100 or 150 grams of paneer.
Right.
So if you look at it, will look like it's very less.
Sorry. So sorry. So first is protein. I think second is fiber, and the third is fat. And so when say fat, it is not keto. Please don't take me wrong. That is not keto. She's just talking about the regular fat content. And we need to. The reason that the fat is in the third category is that fat 1 gram has 9 calories compared to protein, and 1 gram is only 4 calories. So with fat, you will have to be very limited, but at the same time, it will also keep you full. So these are the three options that we have. Okay, super. So if coming back to my question, so I want to decrease to 1 dosa. So you are saying that we need to choose something that is rich in these 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us
options.
Just
add in components that can, provide you these 3 nutrients.
Okay.
Same example of the 3 dosas. We would feel much more fuller if we have it as egg dosas or paneer dosas instead of plain dosas. So that adds in fats, that adds in proteins. At the same time, you have your carbs.
I see.
And maybe you will feel full even with 2. You wouldn't even require 3.
So
and
good
you can
option
have it with a side of a salad.
Nice. Salad allam velakaga.
Or a cucumber or a poriyal, whatever it is. நீங்க அமெரிக்கானால சாலட்
நீங்க நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. No. Whenever somebody has salad, we don't go that side at all. If you go to an American restaurant, it's pretty clear. All the Americans on the salad side, all the Indians.
I know. We love our cooked food.
Cooked food. No, salad is good, but practically, I don't think people will be motivated to eat salad.
It's not something people like eating.
But now I like eating now because I've been going through this journey for 2 years. But if somebody wants to get it started, I don't think it's a good thing to start with. So I like your concept of egg dosa. So instead of 3, I'm sorry, I had 4 dosa. So you're saying that instead of 4 dosa, eat 2 egg dosa.
Yeah.
And or 2 paneer dosas. How do you do paneer dosa?
You can just, scramble a bit of paneer. When you're pouring your dosa, you can just, put it on top of it and fold it. That's about it.
Okay.
Paneer doesn't take too much effort to cook.
Okay. But paneer is rich in fats
as well.
Which will keep you full. But at the same time, you need to be careful with the calories though, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
So how much do you sprinkle? You just sprinkle it?
Yeah. So I think per meal, to give a very general recommendation, around 50 to 70 gram would be more than enough.
I see.
Yeah.
50 to
It
70
would be
grams of
safe
paneer.
to fit into your calories.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the
So,
paneer, yeah.
okay.
Of the paneer.
So you, I mean, ideal way is to get a weighing scale, put the paneer, and then measure it as 50, 70 grams, right? Is there any
What
tricky?
you can do is a standard cube of paneer usually is 200 grams, most brands. So half of that will be 100. So Advitri, you can kind of
super.
get an approximate amount.
Cube the kutti cube kutti cube illa
The Milky Mist cube, that size?
milk. Okay.
That
So that's
usually is
200 grams.
200 grams.
Okay. So basically, you just say that cut into half, and then maybe
Half,
3/4 of
that
that.
would be 100. Yeah, that would be more than enough.
I see.
Again, it would depend on the individual's calorie intake requirement.
Yeah.
But for the general recommendation, this would be a good one.
Absolutely. So all this what we are discussing is not Sujatha's direct recommendation to any patient. It is only my recommendation to my subscribers, right? Because I am bringing her in to see how my subscribers can get benefit from this method that I am promoting. Right. This is not true for everything. That I mean, every patient is different. Okay. So now good. I like that concept. Okay. So how about a separate dish? Let's say I have idli. Right? Idli. How much carbs are there in one idli?
It will roughly come across to 20, 25. Again, it would depend on the size of the idli and you know how much batter we use and stuff. But roughly 20, 25.
Okay. I mean one whole meal, like maybe like
one medium sized idli. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So so same thing. So idli ki vande if we go down, is there anything else that we can add?
We can always, try adding in vegetables or legumes into the idli. Number traditional recipes, there is this habit of adding legumes when we are steaming idli. So that kind of adds an extra fiber and protein. Apart from that, you can have it with egg curry or maybe have it with a thick lentil or a thick pulse sambar. So it does contribute to some amount of carb as well, but the overall carb protein ratio is better when compared to just eating the carb.
Correct. That's a very good point that you brought up. So, idli mari vachikking appadina vandu you have the side dish. Side dish solradha the gravy. Side dish na vandu ellarum thanni edukiranga.
Accompaniment.
Correct. The gravy, so you're saying that you can have an egg curry because that's a protein.
Yeah.
That's a protein. Or you could have paneer masala, va?
Yeah.
You could have paneer masala. Okay. And or sambhar. Okay, so I want you to educate us. Okay, sambhar. When they say sambhar, my friend is like, hey, sambhar vande, day I take lot of protein. Pata sambhar vande thanniya irukum. Sambhara water namu right? So it's a good thing. Your sambar should have 75% of sambar.
Legume.
Right. Actually, only 25% water. It cannot be the other way around. So what do you tell your patient? How do you say to make sambar?
So basically, I asked them to, it wouldn't be possible for most people to stick to numbers and stuff. So I asked them to make it a bit on the thicker side, especially if they're vegetarians. If they're able to get their protein through other sources, then it's okay. But when they're vegetarians, we'll have to, make the best use of the options that are available. So not that sambar is a great source of protein, but that protein could also contribute to their total requirement. So that's the whole idea. Or you can also add in, sprouts or something alongside the regular dal or lentils that you use. That could again add an extra amount of protein.
I see. Tell me some example, please, for the sprouts.
You can just use green gram sprouts or even chana sprouts. Any legume that can be sprouted, you can just add it. In fact, sprouting kind of reduces the carb quantity of the legume. So it also reduces the GI.
Right. Yeah. Even Varsha mentioned that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that again can be utilized.
Right. So when you sprout, two advantages. One is you get more protein, and then you decrease the carb content of that thing. Yeah. The other thing is when you make thick sambar, what happens is the thickness of the sambar. Yes, it does have carbs in it, but it also have fiber in it. It's a good fiber. It's an insoluble fiber, so it makes you feel full. So remember, protein, fiber, fat to replace the carbs. And so sambar is one of the good thing to do that.
You can also add in vegetables into your sambar. More fiber.
Vegetables. But முருங்கக்காய் சாம்பார் அப்புறம் இந்த கத்திரிக்காய் சாம்பார் இதெல்லாம் வந்து இருந்துச்சு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், வெஜிடபிள் வந்து ஏதோ அந்த பிரியாணில வந்து ஒரு முந்திரி பருப்பு மாதிரி தான் இருக்கு. In the whole sambar there is only one katrika.
Yeah. Now it's become more like just adding for the sake of flavor than for the actual vegetable.
Okay.
But yeah, that should be emphasized.
Okay. So I said katrika sambar because I love brinjal. I just a big fan of eggplant. Okay, brinjal. So in the brinjal sambar, so let's say that I make all my subscribers eat brinjal sambar. சரியா? அந்த பிரிஞ்சால் சாம்பார்ல வந்து அதனால நிறைய பேர் வந்து unsubscribe பண்ணி போயிடுவாங்க. அது ஒரு விஷயம்.
Right.
Biryal sambarla, okay, so you're saying that make thick sambar. So then we need to increase the dal content, when you are making sambar. And also you're saying that add sprouts, green gram sprouts to it. Okay. And then we're also saying that add more vegetables to it. Right? So how much will you say? For let's say brinjal, or whole brinjal, how much will you say?
So again, this you could roughly estimate the quantity. ஏன்னா நம்ம சாம்பார் வந்து இப்போ நான் வீட்ல சமைக்கிறேன்னா எனக்காக மட்டும் I wouldn't be practically cooking. I'll be cooking for my entire family. So we cannot really control like இவ்ளோதான் என்னோட போர்ஷன்ல வரும்னு பெருசா கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண முடியாது. But when you're serving yourself, make sure that a food plate contains at least half portion of veggies. So it could be your poriyal and the sambar la irukra vegetable together.
Okay.
However it is convenient for you, whatever works for you, but ensure that half the portion of your plate is veggies.
Okay.
The remaining 2/4 can be the grain and the protein.
Super. So or breakfast plate. Okay, super. So in my subscribers and also my social media people, so they all my patients as well. My patients, what they're saying that, okay, you know what, Dr. Pal, I am okay with the eating window. So tell me what you eat in the eating window. We are talking about all this. So let's say my eating window starts at 10 a.m. and I'm having a breakfast. I'm just summarizing whatever you were saying. So let's say I have dosa. We talked about egg dosa, paneer dosa. And for the side dish, you actually have like curry, egg curry or paneer curry. So that the protein content is more to keep you full. The more important thing is that sambar is a way that we always grew up with. And the whole concept of this customizing to your plan is because that is where it is going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So the reason that we are not including salad is you will eat salad for 1 week. But and then you say goodbye to salad right away. So the other alternative option to replace salad is what Sujatha is saying. You add vegetables in that plate somehow. So one easy way to add is so that you don't create any new dishes, add more vegetables into that sambar. Like it could be eggplant, brinjal or anything else. And make sure that you include vegetables on the plate.
Definitely, yeah.
And many people, have you seen this, Sujatha? Like many people when they have sambar, especially in the hotels, they just pour the water part alone.
Right.
So you are saying that don't do that. Make sure it is as thick as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, it is as thick as possible. Okay, sounds good. So we can add vegetables. Okay, so other options to decrease carbs, replace carbs with. So you say vegetables. The key thing, I'll tell you how an American lifestyle is. We don't have any help over here. We have to do everything over here by ourselves, which is the same thing with India as well, pretty much. We are so busy. With this busy lifestyle, what can be done easily to be included in the plate so that we don't disturb our wives?
Right. So, like, that makes sense. That question is very, very valid because none of us have the time to spend, in the kitchen. So the easier it is, the more convenient it is, the better it is for us because we again stick to it consistently. Nobody likes to do tough things. So one thing that we can do if it's a meal that we are looking to plan is to kind of make it a one-pot meal where you can add in a bit of grains, beans, vegetables, spice it up like how you prefer. even you can also choose to add in dals. Make it into a one pot meal, so that will again, and you can just add in variety by the kind of spices you use, or the kind of way you prepare it, or the kind of legumes you use, the kind of vegetables you use. So it is also different on an everyday basis. At the same time, it's just cooked in one go. The second thing is,
No,
there are a lot of convenient. Yeah.
I have a doubt. One pot meal
Yeah.
is what? You have one pot and you just put everything inside?
So a simple example is like, not exactly the bismillah bath, but something like that. So it's just
Ah,
cooked in one go.
ah.
But of course, the ratios we can change it.
Yeah, we can
You
change it.
can add in more veggies, you can add in beans and stuff.
But that will have rice in it as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you can
basic.
control the portion of it. When the thing about
Ah,
cooking your own meal is that you can control how much of what you're
ah.
using. That's the advantage.
The key thing is, I think it's okay to eat rice. It's not that bad.
Definitely.
It's okay to eat rice. It's just that the portion control. So I think that I love this idea. You just put a little bit of rice, you just put everything together, and then
Yeah.
you mix it. Basically, you were asking us to cook like a bachelor.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's
Easy.
not a bad idea. So you put everything in one pot. You have rice. You have your rice, and if you want whatever vegetable that you want, you just put it. And then அப்பப்ப வந்து நீங்க வந்து ட்ரையல் அண்ட் எரர் மெத்தட்ல வந்து உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஸ்பைஸ் வந்து என்ன லெவல்ல இருக்குமோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து கரெக்ட் பண்ணி டேஸ்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப சூப்பரா வந்து சம்டைம்ஸ் வராது இனிஷியலி, பட் இட்ஸ் ஓகே.
Yeah. You'll figure it out. You'll find a really good recipe.
You figure
Yeah.
it out. And
Yeah.
where do we how do we make it taste better?
How do you make it taste better?
In the
You
one
can
pot
use. Yeah. Sorry.
in that one pot meal, let's say a guy like me who doesn't know any cooking at all, I'm putting all the rice and everything inside. How do the tips and tricks to make it taste better?
You can add, like, you can use the best use of spices that you have available. That's the best way to add flavor. So you can use different kinds of Indian spices if they are available. You can use lemon juice. Lemon juice goes well with almost any kind of mixed preparation. So lemon juice is a good thing, and these can also be one of the most efficient ways to cut down on our sodium intake, which in turn can
Yes.
impact our health as well, because when you add in more flavor through spices and citrus, it kind of reduces your dependence on salt for flavor. So
Nice.
that's again one of the ways you can manage your sodium intake.
Okay, super. I love this
Again, there are a lot of convenient options available. One of the first things that people who get diagnosed with diabetes do is the next day morning, their breakfast becomes oats.
Yeah.
Oats porridge. I don't know how this concept came in, but then this is something that I've been observing for quite a long time now. But that's one more thing that we need to pay attention to. The form in which you're taking your carb is again going to impact how it affects your blood glucose level and how it increases your blood glucose level. The same amount of sugar through a liquid food will increase blood glucose much faster than the same amount of sugar when it's taken in the form of a solid food. So technically, replacing your solid dosas or idlis with a porridge is only going to make it, even more difficult for your body to manage the blood glucose level than your actual breakfast is going to do.
Absolutely.
So again, the form of it, the way it is cooked again matters. The traditional slow cooking methods like boiling, steaming, all these are much better when we compare the glycemic index with foods that are even baked or fried. So the same food, say potato, a boiled potato is much better in its glycemic index when compared to a fried potato.
Yeah, absolutely. McDonald's might not like it, but that's what the truth is.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, cooking method has an impact. So there are more than one ways in which we can actually control how carbs affect our body.
Nice. Okay, super. So these are all some options we talked about. How about snack? Right? So eating window, coming back to the eating window, so we start with 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. we are very, very hungry, right? Because we are maintaining the fast overnight. So 10 a.m. we talked about all these options. And then lunch we talked about one pot meal. to replace whatever. I mean, this is not going to be a replacement of the entire meal. What we are talking about is you can decrease the rice portion and replace that with vegetable things.
Yeah.
So how about snacks in between?
Right. So the easiest snack to grab if you don't want to cook anything is to grab a fruit.
Fruit.
So fruits are amazing for snack. And one more, fear point that happens is fruit sugar. Fruit sugar, when
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
harmful to your body, அப்படின்றது ஒரு concept. But again, fruit comes along with the sugar. It comes with a lot of soluble fiber. So it is actually, it's not that glucose is not going to have a big impact in terms of how it affects your health.
Absolutely,
So fruits are really good, and they come packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, all these nutrients. So if fruit is something that's easiest to grab, what you can do is you can combine fruit with nuts. So
Fruits is
nuts
not.
add some amount of fat, which can actually sustain release of glucose from the fruit, even if the release of glucose from the fruit is an issue.
Nice. But okay. So the concept about the fruits causing sugar, so my friend actually complains that I will not eat fruits because it's rich in sugar, my man. It decreases, it'll stimulate so much of insulin. அப்படின்ட்டு ஃப்ரூட்டை சாப்பிட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு பாக்கெட் பிரியாணி சாப்பிட போறான். பிரியாணில இன்சுலினை ஸ்டிமுலேட் பண்ணாம ஃப்ரூட்ல ஸ்டிமுலேட் பண்ண போறான். So if you, I mean, the concept of fruit having sugar stimulating insulin is true. It does stimulate. But it's only for particular patient scenario where you are already at a different level. When you are starting, don't even worry about this fruits causing sugar.
Your body knows to take care of it.
Body knows to take care of. Absolutely. The point that you hit it on the nail is in the soluble fiber will keep you relatively full as well. Okay, so the nuts there is a problem. Nuts is also exactly similar to paneer, similar to other good fats. It is good, but it is rich in calories as well. So I tell my patients that if you have like pistachios or almonds or cashews, they say handful, but I'll tell you them a specific number of like 10 to 15 per day. That is something that I just came up with based on my personal experience, based on the calories. What do you tell your patients?
So I time it like it would come at least twice a day for most people. So it would be numbered somewhere between 6 to 8 or even 8 to 10 per time. So I think
even 10 to 15 is a little bit on the higher side. So maybe around.
So again, it would depend on the person. If they have more calories to meet, they can afford to have more.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. But in general, I think I said 10 to 15. You said 8 to 10. Maybe we can take 10. So if you have cashews or nuts, just take like 10 as a snack, because it adds up slowly. But let's say that, again, this is not Sujatha's recommendation, it's my recommendation. Okay, let's say that the nuts is helping you to stick with the eating window. It is okay. It is okay to take those nuts initially until this eating window becomes a habit and your body knows that, hey, this is what his eating window is, and then in that eating window, then we can make the adjustments later. Okay, super. So we talked about breakfast, lunch. Okay, biggest thing is dinner. All right. So dinner is the heaviest meal for everybody. Okay, because of our lifestyle changes, including me. I keep on telling my family as well that we need to have lunch as a heaviest meal, but that takes a lot of effort and time to do this. But if you're having dinner as the heaviest meal, obviously the carb content is going to go up. Okay, so dinner we talked about all this hacks of replacing egg dosa, paneer dosa, please give us more options. If it is okay to cook more, let's say that my wife is telling me that, you tell me what to cook and then you cook.
Right.
So tell me some new additional food items that we can potentially consider.
Right. So one more thing that we can make use of in terms of grains is, if you are not gluten intolerant, you can use broken wheat. I think it's something that satiates you even in smaller quantities, because it's like really good source of fiber. Apart from that, amaranth seeds is also a good option. So that again, they use it like a grain. So it's almost similar to quinoa. Amaranth seeds.
Amaranth seeds. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
It's almost similar to how we use quinoa.
Quinoa, what's it? Okay, okay. Sounds good. Okay, okay.
So you can use it, but people who do not like, upma may not like those options because they are texturally similar to upma. But then those are, or you can, saute some vegetables, add this as a minimal source of carb there. So the thing about quinoa and amaranth seeds is that they also have good amount of protein. They're also sources of, complete protein, plant protein. So again, that would add in some amount of protein.
I have many patients say that quinoa la manuthan saapidano.
I don't know, I love it. Or maybe I also love upma, so that's the different story.
I mean, நான் சொல்றேன், டேய் நான் என்ன சொன்னாலும் இதை பண்ணுவானா அது பண்ணுவானா தான் நோகாம எப்படிடா நூடுல்ஸ் சாப்பிட முடியும்? You need to do something. So I think the thing is, try quinoa and then see whether what way of quinoa. Quinoa way sambhar say சாப்பிடலாம் இல்லையா? Quinoa is considered
yeah. You can use it just like any other grain.
And the only difference between quinoa and rice is that quinoa has a little bit of high fiber content, a little bit more. Yeah. And that'll keep you a little bit full, which means that you don't take that extra calories 2 hours from your dinner time or from your lunch time. So that is the key thing. And then if you want to add rice, it's okay. You add rice and then add quinoa as well. Or eventually you'll replace the rice with whole quinoa and then just treat quinoa as rice. That's another possibility as well. Okay. How about you go to dinner in a restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay. People are going to restaurant like crazy. We need some options.
Right. So one of the easiest things to have in a restaurant or to order in a restaurant are tikkas. So they are really good sources of protein. It could be paneer tikka. It could be even grilled chicken, or that could be the main part of your plate. So there you also feel full. At the same time, you've eaten something satisfactory. It's not something that you're forcing yourself to eat. These are yummy food. And then you can have maybe a side of rice. You can buy one portion of rice, share it with your entire gang of friends or your entire group of family. So that amount of rice is not going to affect your carb intake as such, and you're still having a satisfactory meal. And if you are particular about having a dessert, that again you can order and maybe share it among 2-3 people.
Okay. So on the grill, you're talking about the grilled meat, the tikka.
Yeah.
So it can be grilled paneer tikka, grilled the chicken tikka, because it doesn't have any oil or any other thing that goes with it.
Right. Not too much of them.
Okay. So if you
and
go to
whole options are also available in a lot of restaurants nowadays. Tofu is available. Soy tofu. Yeah. It's quite easily available nowadays. So that could again be an alternate option.
Tofu. So if somebody goes to an Indian restaurant, I mean, I'm talking about US and I யோசிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன். இந்தியாலயும் if you go to a restaurant, Indian restaurant, so if you go as a group of 4, what you can do is, like, if a vegetarian, add like grilled vegetables and grilled paneer or grilled tofu. And then for non-vegetarian, chicken tikka is okay. Fish tikka, anything is tikka, like all those barbecue items.
Right.
Okay. And then you can get like one biryani for the whole 4 people, and then you can share. And I bet you will not be as hungry as before, because that grilled meat will keep you full.
Definitely.
So let's say that you are still hungry even beyond that, then order one more serving of the same thing. Grilled meat, maybe a different thing, grilled shrimp or grilled something, and then order like different thing, and then just share it among us. And then get one dessert and then just share it among 4 of us.
Perfect.
And then you can also tell them if you want to have like some side dish, we can tell them la இந்த மாதிரி oil கம்மியா போடுங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியுமா சொல்ல முடியாதா?
Most restaurants, I think they do, consider.
They're okay with it. Okay. Good. Super. Sounds good. Super. Very nice. It was a wonderful discussion, actually. So many tips and tricks. Again, summarizing. So we talked about what to do in the eating window, starting from breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between. And we talked about the carbohydrate content. If you really want to take it to the next level to double the outcome of this method. That was wonderful. Again, I emphasize that this is not Sujatha's recommendations for each and every patient. This is just a general recommendation who's following this time restricted feeding method that I'm trying to promote. So if you thank you so much for your time, Sujatha. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. If you thank you. If you want to give one idea or one suggestion to my subscribers to make that as a lifestyle change from this interview, what will you say?
So basically, what I believe in is not having a list of no's. So instead of focusing on what you shouldn't be having, I think we should focus on how to use the different sources of carbs in a smarter way. So try to make the best use of the food that are available to us. So I think that is going to make a huge difference in terms of our lifestyle.
Beautiful. Perfect. Well put. I think the key thing is don't find something new that will actually compromise your quality of life. Try to adopt and modify what is there already. Just add இந்த பட்டி டிங்கரிங்லாம் வந்து உங்களோட ஸ்கெட்யூல்ல பாருங்க அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். அவ்வளவுதான்.
Right.
So that is what we're doing. All right. Yeah, we will bring you back again for a wonderful session to talk on a different topic. But thank you so much for your time, Sujatha. To the audience, she has a private dietitian consultation. Her company is Nutriture, like literature. Nutriture. Our Instagram handle, I'll put that in the description, and please check out her website as well. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.